Good morning, Soapbox Nation. Hey, thank you for joining me for episode 64 of Soapbox Daily. Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and I'm coming at you today on this glorious Thursday. Well, actually, it's to say rainy Thursday, but in my neck of the woods. But if you like rain, it's all good. And today, actually, this topic was inspired today because I was just out running some errands today and had a little bit of an interesting experience. The topic and the question for today is, do you suffer from glottophobia? Yes. Do you suffer from glottophobia? That's an interesting topic. It's an interesting question for today. And we're going to get into that in 1 second. Hey, how has your integrity been this week? How is your integrity today? Are you being the positive change? Are you being the change the world needs? Always ask yourself that question when you wake up each day. Hey, keep in mind, only you can judge that. Only you can determine whether or not you're being the best person you can be. And hey, while you're at it, check out getoffmysoapbox.com for more information on all our shows, and also check out our FAQ section for how you can assist us moving forward. So today I'm probably a little bit late in the show, only because the rainy weather and the bad traffic and my interesting experiences today. But, well, it's going to happen because real life does take priority over everything else. So I had to get some stuff done, and I went and did that. So let's get into today's show. What is glottophobia? Well, it's kind of along the lines of xenophobia. Basically what it is discrimination of other languages. And frankly, I think it's pathetic. It's another form of discrimination, but this is based on languages, unfortunately. It's linguistic discrimination, and it's also referred to as linguism and languagism. It's unfair treatment of people which is based on their use of language and the characteristics of their speech, including their first language, their accent, etc., etc., etc. And my experience today, unfortunately, was I went out to Rona. And yeah, I'm going to mention names. I like Rona, great store, do a lot of shopping there. But, you know, you can really tell that the workplace environment has changed. You can tell that services have changed. You can tell that businesses have changed because of the level of people that they're hiring, because they're desperate for filling positions. For some reason, the world has got lazy. People don't want to work. So they're pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel of who they can hire. So I did a lot of shopping. I dealt with a lot of their representatives, a lot of their service people, a lot of their people that work there, and they were really great. So then I went off to the cash. Now, let me just give you a backstory on this. Where I live is in Quebec, Canada. Quebec is the French province and the only French province in the whole country. And they tend to be a little anal when it comes to their French. And during COVID, the government officials of the leading party managed to sneak in some law stating that people don't no longer have to be served in any other language but French. Well, wouldn't you know it, I get to go to the one cash, the one checkout that was available, and I get to meet the French Karen. And you got to look up what a Karen is in modern lingo and modern slang. But yeah, I get to meet the French Karen. That's what I got to meet today. Didn't matter what I said, no matter whether or not I said it and anything else. Because I was speaking English, she only insisted on speaking to me in French. Because it was her right to. She was her right to. She only responded to me in French. Now, you can't grow up or live where I live without speaking both languages. The both official languages in Canada are French and English. But this wonderful, miserable person decided that she was going to state her right to be French and only speak in French and only serve me in French. I know she spoke English, hands down, because as I said, you cannot survive this close to the nation's capital of Canada without speaking English. But no, she, for lack of a better word, wanted to be a today. And when I have experiences like this, it kind of makes me not want to return back to the place that I'm doing my shopping. If you're working, you are professional. Keep your biases at home, keep your judgment at home, keep everything else outside of work, keep it outside of work, be professional at work. This person suffered from glottophobia, and it's a form of racism in some respects. But it's languagism, but it's a bias. And frankly, there's been some question of whether or not it should be considered illegal because it's discrimination. It's discrimination against other languages. Okay, you have a preference. We get it. You have a preference. You like your language. You know what? you have to serve people and leave your preferences at home, okay? Leave your preferences outside of work. Just get over it. Speak to people in the language that they can communicate with you in and go from there. And to top it all off, in this whole dance she was doing with the whole language thing, tried to discourage me, tried to frustrate me, and also tried to pass a fast one on me and charge me for something that I didn't have in my cart extra. And I knew what she was doing, but the fact that I have a very keen eye and I'm very methodical when it comes to things because I work in, technology, I noticed it right away. And she tried to cash me out in her French speaking without speaking to me English or replying to me in English. She tried to pass it by me and charge me extra for stuff I wasn't there because she had a bias against me because I spoke English. Wow. Incredible. Okay, fine. I get it. You're proud of your heritage. You're proud of your language. Get over yourself. You're in a work environment. 1, don't try to screw people over. 2, try to communicate with them in a language that they understand. It makes customer service a lot better. Anyways, that's about it. The question is, are you a glottophobia? Are you biased against other languages? Do you think the language you speak is the best in the world and you refuse to speak anything else? That's kind of your ignorance and arrogance. You know what? It's difficult enough for people to communicate. Let's not make it any harder than it needs to be. And let's try to meet a middle ground. Find a middle ground. We can all communicate better and get along better moving forward. So that's my topic for today. Please go over to Twitter and share your feedback on this about glottophobia and, the other definitions of language bias and racism. Well, languageism. Sorry. Anyways, thank you very much for tuning in today. Please check out getoffmysoapbox.com. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening. I'm your host, Mad Morgan. Hope you have an amazing day moving forward, and I will see you next episode.